You are now listening to the Cut and Caliber Podcast.
Friends are friends forever. I don't know.
Brought to you by Michael W. Smith for era 1993.
come on. If you haven't heard of Michael W. Smith, then
You don't know Jesus.
possibly. Well, hey, welcome, guys. What's up? How you doing? It's been a whole week, and I missed you. And Kyle
That's
did
true.
too.
We said we would be working on our relationships with our
Yeah,
listeners.
I missed you, and I hope your week is doing great. Our week has been actually very, very productive, and I think
It's been incredibly sunny.
I think that has something to do with it, is because it's been so nice out, and I'm like, even though I work inside of my computer, but I get those little all right, work a little bit, go outside, read a little bit, work a little bit, and so I feel so much more productive because
Little vitamin D bursts.
and I feel like I could take over the world. But guys, let's get the intro going because now we're just talking about how awesome the weather has been. Today's podcast is about friendship.
Yep. Friendship is the family we choose for ourselves
Ooh, that's good.
because it's true.
It
You
is
can't
true.
pick your family, but you have 100% power over choosing
Yes.
who you spend your time with that isn't blood related.
I know, and we go over maybe some tough things that you'll have to decide for your friend group.
Yeah. Some of them aren't going to last. Your friendships aren't.
No,
You
and,
get- sometimes you have
is
to cut.
is that worth putting time into or not? So we kind of get down to the nitty gritty of it, and then we kind of switch gears and start talking about how many problems we have.
And it's a lot.
And
So-
we're no
Basically, we're going to have a psychologist
We're not
come
a
on.
king.
We're going to have
Yeah.
a psychologist come on.
we'd like to do that. If you guys would like to hear us interview and talk to a psychologist and talk about all of our problems, let us know in the comments. But without further ado, let's get into the podcast.
Yeah, so I thought a good conversation today is what about our friends? Do they
Yeah.
make us more successful? Who are we spending our time with? That's kind of what makes
Mm-hmm.
us who we are in some ways.
Yes.
I think it's A Day to Remember. That's a good band. They actually have a song called, or maybe it's 4 Years Strong. Anyways, it says, "Friends are the family we choose for ourselves." That's what it is.
There you go.
I should get that tattooed on me. So I
Actually, that's not a
remember.
bad. That's not a bad.
But
I like
it's
that.
it's true. You know, you can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends.
Yeah.
And that's who you typically spend a lot of your time with.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to be said when friends influence you and what you are. Like, you and I both got into the same stuff, and we
Yeah.
both pushed each other to go deeper and get interested in the same things. And if we didn't have each other,
Yeah.
we could have gone different paths for sure.
For sure. Actually, I don't even think I'd be in Alaska right now.
Right. And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think
You wouldn't be married.
I wouldn't be married.
You'd be a bum on the street.
I'd be homeless.
I put a lot of weight into friends, and I don't think I used to. In my early 20s, I was just like, I'll be friends with everybody. But now, of course, I want to be friends with everybody. I like everybody. I don't want to have that. Well, there are some exceptions. I don't want
Sure.
to be friends with everybody.
Not everybody.
But, you know, I think the first time I heard about this was Tim Ferriss, and he said, you are the 5 people that you spend, you know,
the most
the
time.
most
with.
time with,
Yeah,
you
that-
associate with.
Yeah, that's kind of been around the
an
block
average.
a few times.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're the
so I
average
mean-
of the 5 people that
Yes.
you spend the most time with. right?
And I think, especially in my early 20s, especially during my, what I'm calling the dark age of my mid 20s.
The dark ages. Gotcha.
Yeah. I think for sure, I could see oh, yeah, no, I was acting more like this person or that person because I was hanging out with them so much more.
Right.
And then you start to see bad traits build up and build up and build up and then become a habit almost. It's like you're, oh, it's Tuesday. Of course I'm going to get hammered. You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
like you see these kind of things. It's like around your friends, that was a normal thing. But at the same time, it's not.
Well, and it's also both
successful.
of us coming from the music scene. The majority of our friends were musicians at one time or another, and that
Still are,
was
technically.
sure, but like our mindsets were different then. There was still that dream of playing music and
Yeah.
like touring. Well, yeah, the partying. Not all other people than musicians party too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean,
You're right.
party like a rock star, dude. Come on. There's a
that's
song made about it.
true. Yeah. Is that a pretty popular song?
Party like a rock star.
I
This is like,
I'm thinking of Post Malone, you know.
oh, that one too.
But yes.
Poppin'
So-
pillies.
yeah, what's the next line after that?
I'm gonna.
We're gonna have to bleep that one out.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we just had this. The majority of our friends were musicians. We had this musician mentality,
Yep.
and then we kind of switched over to like, for lack of a better word, is entrepreneurship, and we started surrounding ourselves with a lot more people that had that mindset.
Successful.
Well, just people that had the dream of working for themselves, and so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of flowed over into our mindset where we were like, we want that too. This
Yeah.
is a normal thought for everybody in our friend group.
Yeah.
And then you talk to somebody that has zero interest and you're like, what, you don't want to work for yourself one day? Like,
Yeah.
It's-
What are you, stupid?
no, but it's like you get in these like,
You're
little-
not stupid if you don't want to work for yourself.
right.
Let me just
but you get in these
clarify.
little think tanks with people that are like-minded, and then anything that's not,
Yeah.
that they don't think that, you're like, oh, you're kind of not in the friend group right now because this is what I'm into.
Shun.
Yeah. I mean, I have that with golf. Is like
Yeah.
I have this group of golfing friends,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of people that like golf. I would put us in the category of love golf.
Yeah,
and
for
so
sure.
it's a different thing. It's like somebody that has, let's say, a Polaroid camera, and they call themselves a photographer. And then you're like, do you know? I'm not saying you can't be. I'm just saying there's a
No,
difference
no,
between.
I would agree with you on that. Like,
Right.
I don't know. Like, I
Like-
can go around with a disposable
Right.
Kodak
Just because you
camera.
have a camera does not make you a photographer.
Bingo.
That's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
then there's this group where they're very serious about photography, and
Yep.
they hang out with each other. It's the kind of cliquey
Yeah.
in every way. But
Yeah.
it's an interesting thing. We've
Yeah.
both had bad friendships that we've kind of had to cut ties with, or at least
Distance.
distance yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not because they're bad people necessarily. It's because your goals and aims in life maybe are different at
Mm-hmm.
this moment in time.
Bingo. I mean, this kind of reminds me of the 20 questions I came up with
Right.
to answer for myself. There was three questions out of those 20 that were circled around friendship.
Sure.
It was like the first one is, who are the 5 people that you're surrounded by?
Sure.
What do I value in friendship?
Mm-hmm.
And then what type of friend do I want to be? And so I feel like friends and the friendship that you offer to people is not just helping you. It's helping people surround you. It's bigger than just yourself, right? So it helps everybody, and it also helps you kind of get your goals in line and whatnot.
Sure. They're kind of the accountability group that you have where.
I think we don't put as much weight as we should into our friend group.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a friendship is kind of almost like, especially older friends that you acquire over time that may have been
Yeah.
shallow relationships where it's like, hey, this guy likes the same beer as I do. We're best buds. We hang out, we drink together, whatever.
No,
Like that's not
I got 13 of those
13.
best buds.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying that friendship's not built on anything more than the fact that you guys share
Right.
that little thing in common, and it doesn't have to be beer or whatever. But you know what I mean?
Could be wine.
It could be wine. It could be the fact that you guys like, I don't know, are on a bowling league
Yeah.
together or something like.
No, yeah, I
You're
think
acquaintances and
yeah,
pals. You're
they're
not friends.
They're not like deep
Right.
friendships.
There's
You're
nothing-
not really giving and taking. I think, and that also kind of helps with a friendship too. It's like if you're all give, and you're not receiving anything back in return, then what's the point of that friendship? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I almost, that's kind of maybe hard for some people to hear and to
Right.
think about. But it's like if you're just like, I'm moving my schedule around for this person. I'm picking them up and dropping them off, and I'm doing this.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
one-sided.
yeah, it's a one-sided. It's a relationship can't work like that. Why can a friendship?
Well, because
And
it is a relationship in a different way. I mean,
I guess actually that's a
it's
good
not.
point.
It's not a romantic relationship for the most part.
Well, that we know of.
Yeah. So,
But I think it has to be in a give and take. I mean, like you said, that's a good kind of way to look at it. Is like it is kind of a relationship to
Sure.
a point. Because you're both in each other's lives and you both mean something to the other person. But if it is a give, it's not a 50-50 thing,
Right.
partnership.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have to reevaluate what's going on and what needs to change if you want to keep it.
Yeah, it's and I think a lot of times your expectations have to be on the same page with each other, because we both have friends that we don't talk to as much as we'd like to.
Yeah.
And that's okay as long as you're not expecting to talk to them every day. Like, for instance, Jason.
What up, Jason?
Yeah.
Shut up. New daddy.
Yeah, so we will go days without talking. That's fine. Sometimes we'll talk every day. It's like we don't have high expectations that our friendship has to talk every day
Yeah.
to survive. And I have friends that I won't talk to for 6 months, and then we'll pick right back up. I got a text yesterday from a buddy that we grew up as kids together.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, do you want to get together and play golf with me and my dad? I couldn't, but that's the first time I've heard from him in like 8 months. And it's just like, we'll always pick right back up to where we were.
Yeah.
You know, you have those expectations. And
I mean, of course, there's friends that I almost see it like as an onion. You know, there's your core, that's you, and then you have layers of friends.
Yeah,
You have your first layer and second and so forth. And so, of course, the outer layer, you don't really need to talk to them so much, but they're still there. And
Sure.
they will be there for you if you need it to be. But it's building those layers and those rings.
building the onion. Yeah.
Building the onion. I guess that's a weird way to put it. But I mean, I was just thinking like Shrek or whatever, so it made me laugh. But like I guess that's the way to kind of put it together. Is like you want to build something with your friends, and it's your friendship. You want to. It's a give and take.
Yeah.
Almost.
It's
but it
kind of
doesn't have to be a give and take every day. Like
sure.
you said.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously friendship varies, like you're saying, among different
Yeah.
groups. But yeah, sometimes there's the bad fruit that you kind of have to cut off. And
Yeah, and that's I feel like some people know exactly, as if you heard Kyle say that right now and some name popped in your head.
that's probably it.
Sorry to let you.
I mean,
sorry to
we've
let you down,
we've all
but-
done it in some regards, whether
Yeah.
you've done it on purpose or not. Because,
Yeah.
like you're saying, if it's a give and take relationship, if you stop giving
Yep.
in terms of trying to foster this relationship, then I think most people kind of pick up on that hint. They're like, well, Steven doesn't really respond back to my texts very
Yeah.
often, or whatever it is. You know, it's like you feel a shift, and then I always kind of feel like the ball's either in that person's court to
Yeah.
either find a new friend that kind of fills that void,
Or
or they need to adapt to.
Hopefully it's the latter.
That sounds a little pretentious, like you're like the best. 'Cause-
Well, but also I mean, of course, both of us are not the best role models for best friendship. I mean, of course, we have moments when we're great, but at the same time, we don't. We're not like calling each other every night or whatever. So we're
No.
not role models,
No.
by any means. But I feel like we are on the same wavelength as far as we both kind of want the same thing.
Right.
And so we kind of get that from each other. And we've talked about this for years and years. So we've kind of built that relationship. But I think if maybe you're starting to, be like, I want to be healthy, or, start to think of other life goals and whatnot. And in your friend group, it doesn't have to be one friend. It could be several friends, and it could
Yeah.
be really hard for, you. But if you're feeling like your friend group, your main core friend group, is not aligning with those goals, then it's time to start thinking about something else. And like you said, they could adapt or they could not, and you have to be okay with whatever.
Yeah, I think it's stupid to completely
Cut off.
not completely cut off, but to close that door forever. Because
I
people
agree.
change,
I agree.
and you change.
Yeah.
And I
Oh
mean,
man. Yeah, I'm a completely different person, but since like mid-20s.
Sure. And so like I always want to leave that door open, but for the time being,
For your party is
for my party days.
Yeah.
I want to relive them again when
just
I'm
in
45.
case, like when you're like, oh man, I really feel like partying.
My
tonight.
midlife crisis is just going to be partying.
Molly, I'm going out partying.
Yeah, with Molly.
Oh, wait.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, I feel like that's immature to think that people won't change over time. And some people you have to cut off why they go through a phase. Like, I've done it, and it's just not adding to my life in a positive way.
Yeah.
And it's like, why am I'm not getting anything out of this.
Yep.
And I know that's a messed up way to look at it.
Take. No, it's not though. That's the thing. I think maybe it's really hard to look at it like that, but at the same time, I don't think it is a messed up way to look at it.
Sure. I guess maybe if that's the only thing you're looking for is what do I get? I don't know. Like it sounds weird to say. I should say that.
I guess it does sound weird because you're like, well, what's in it for me?
But that's essentially why you get into a relationship.
Bingo.
Is that you're like,
I need the companionship. I need
Right.
to come home to someone. I need to, all that, blah, 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 blah.
man, this is getting deep. We might have to get some sort of relationship therapist in here. Why do I
That
feel
actually-
this way?
That's not a bad idea. I do have some.
Relationship issues.
Yes. Yeah. There we go. So I wouldn't mind talking those out
Yeah.
while recording the podcast.
That would be fun. I would be incredibly interested. I want to just talk to a psychologist and just be
I
like,
would-
why
I
do
would-
I think this way?
I would have questions ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be like, so this is what I do. Why do I do this?
Yeah. Why do I sabotage every relationship?
Yeah.
Like,
No,
I mean,
maybe we should do that. Maybe we should get
you know what would be,
some kind of psychologist or
you know what might be better?
UAA.
No. I've
psychology
just heard about
major.
this, and this is me spitballing, but I've heard it's legit. Is there's apps for psychologists where
You pay.
per
right.
session or whatever, and basically you tell them your issues, like your symptoms, whatever it may be that you're feeling, and they connect you with a live psychologist, and then it's basically a therapy session, and it'd be kind of cool to do that, like a Skype call, and be like, okay. My name's Steven.
honestly,
This
that might
is-
not be a bad idea for the podcast. Is what
for a
you're saying?
podcast, yeah.
it's not
And
a
just
bad
be
idea.
like, we're doing a couples therapy.
That would be like really honest with our audience, with the people
Well.
listening. I feel like that would be kind of cool though. And the funny thing is, I used to think like therapy was like,
Dude,
a
I used to
joke.
think it was so weird and stupid. I
thought-
frankly thought it
like,
was stupid.
I was like, oh, why do I need to talk out my feelings?
Right.
But then I think the more I get older and become more self-aware, I'm like, holy cow, like how I think things through
Right.
is by talking
As a
them out.
product of, and as
And
a
by
product
people-
of how you've grown up.
Yeah,
et
and
cetera,
by
et cetera.
people listening and then asking questions, pushing me, and that's how I work things through in my head. That's how I get more ideas, and I'm like, dude, that's therapy. Like
Right.
you pay someone to listen to you and to kind of push you.
Well,
Mentally.
I think it's a lot of times, and maybe it's just me, is that you think you have these issues in your head, and you're like, I'm the only person that thinks this
Yes,
exact way.
yeah.
Like no one else in the entire world
Until-
is experiencing exactly what I'm facing
Until
right now.
Google, though, man. Can you imagine like growing up without Google? Like we were very fortunate, even though
Yeah,
like,
I didn't
Google,
grow up with Google until I was,
Okay, I mean, but like,
Yeah.
I didn't. It was like teenage
I still remember the
years.
first time I logged on the internet.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
My mom dialed into AOL
Yeah,
and we looked up
a transformer came out.
Yeah. Exactly.
Whoa.
And we looked up a Seattle Mariners score.
Oh wow.
Yeah. 1990 had to be somewhere in like 94.
Yeah, because I mean, it was 2 years after. I think wasn't the internet made in 92 or 90?
Well,
That's what
the
they say.
real internet.
Al Gore.
Yeah.
Thanks, Al Gore.
It was somewhere around there because you used to get the discs with AOL and
Yeah.
you would throw that in your computer, allow you to dial
Oh,
up.
I
and it was
remember.
like, you know, all the
Yeah.
noises.
I always thought that was like when I first started seeing those. I always thought the AOL CD was just like that's the internet.
That's the internet.
I always put it in. I'm like, nothing's happening.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna be able to have unlimited knowledge and information with just this CD. I put it in.
You were
It's not
thinking way ahead.
connecting.
I didn't even know what. I was like, I'm going to use this to look up Mariners scores. Like that was the first thing I did.
I think it was my brother. He was he's very tech savvy, so he was like, "This is what this does." Yeah, but I mean, like now we have.
Yeah, access
It's
to
so
anything.
it's so crazy because I'll be like, I'm having this issue,
which is also dangerous.
Well, also, yeah. I mean, you have to pick and choose your battles, really. But I mean, we have the ability to access unlimited other people, right?
Yeah.
Who have the same exact problems. And I feel like growing up without that, even especially in your 20s, because you're becoming more independent, and you don't want to bother your parents every 10 seconds. You got a question.
Really?
Do you?
I think kids still do that.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, normal people, not the dude that was like the 30-year-old that was like evicted from his parents' house.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
The guy that went viral. What a loser.
Good for him.
Dude, I mean, just like, that's in the whole.
I didn't read about it, so I can't.
I did, and I was like, dude, and he's like, he mad at his parents for kicking him out. I'm like, dude, they gave you 5 notices, like basically, like, please go get a job. Here's money. Go. We want to live our life, and he never did. Just thought it was stupid. Get on a bunny trail, but it's kind of comforting being like when you find exactly what you're feeling on Google, and you're like, oh, that's it. That's what I'm feeling. Okay,
Yeah.
it's nothing really to worry about, or maybe there's a remedy, or maybe it's just like I am not alone, like you said.
Yeah, but then it's like
Then you
also the negative that maybe you should be doing something about this, and now you
Yeah.
feel better because certain thoughts that creep into your head, you may find out that's normal, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean you should embrace them.
Well, and then you go to a therapy session, and they're like, yeah, you're an idiot.
Yeah,
No one else thinks like this.
like NF's album, Therapy Sessions.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
is a
But
good one.
anyways, I mean, let's kind of wrap this up. I
Yeah.
mean, this kind of went from friends to psychology to
yeah.
therapy. Kind of went off tracks a little bit.
Maybe they're all correlated somehow.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I
be
feel
friends
like
with your therapist. Get
free
therapy.
Yeah. That's
So-
a great idea. But we should have sometime in the next several weeks or whatever, we should have a therapy session. What if we had
Thera. Thera come in. And
Yeah, we always
they
have
listen.
Yeah. They just listen. They don't talk.
Nope.
They just listen to us talk. Be like,
I feel like Ronnie would be like kind of a sage. Like he would offer advice that would be
Mason. I think Mason would be that.
I think
I think
it should
Ronnie
channel
would,
through Ronnie.
Ronnie would be
because
fu-
Ronnie's
Ronnie would
delivery would be better.
Yeah, Ronnie's delivery would be 100% better.
Yeah.
I always tell Ronnie's a buddy of mine. If you've watched my vlogs or anything, you know who Ronnie is. He's in my band. He's our guitar / hardcore screamer, and he's a funny dude. Just a super funny dude.
he's
And
interesting.
He's a blast.
He's
man.
hard not to love.
He's so much fun to hang out with, and that's why I love going down to Soldano and seeing him. Anyway, long story short, yeah,
Be careful with who your friends are. Choose the right ones. Remember, they're basically family at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So sometimes,
they're basically your relationship.
yeah. I mean, a bunch of them,
Yeah,
or
You
maybe
got
not a
s-
bunch of them.
You got a couple relationships, you sicko. But
So-
okay, well, cool. Thanks for listening, guys.
And we'll see you next week.
All right, well, that does it for today's podcast.
Yeah, I feel like our friendship just got stronger because we talked about it.
with them or with us.
both.
Yeah, I think so
Both.
too.
A few of you we're going to be cutting out. You got to go.
Oh, it's been fun though. I will say that
It's been fun for 10 episodes.
yeah. 11.
You'll be
no.
getting an email.
Yeah. It's like a cease and desist,
Yeah,
basically. Like,
please just stop listening
please don't contact us.
anymore.
Yeah.
But,
Stop sending us pictures via Instagram DM.
Nope. Yeah, those definitely have to stop.
Yeah. That's why we blocked you.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this one.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's kind of a somewhat serious topic that I think you need to kind of look at your friend group
Yeah.
and, as Gary Vee would say, audit it. That's
Ooh,
what he
yeah.
says.
That's actually a good word to
Yeah.
use
Because
for that.
it's almost guaranteed that there is somebody in there that probably isn't having a positive effect on you. And there's probably somebody out there that would have a great effect on you.
Or
And you need to find them.
You know what? And we didn't even talk about this during the podcast, but maybe they're the friend.
It's true. You could be the friend that's holding other friends back.
Yeah. Like, I didn't even think about that. And I mean, I know for a fact that I have been that friend to some people.
Yeah, you have.
Been holding people back. Just saying, like, maybe it's, don't think about
everybody else is the
everybody
problem.
else. Think about the friend that you are to your friends.
Sure.
I think that's kind of huge.
Yeah, and it kind of made me think of another like kind of popular quote is that if you're the smartest person in the room,
You need to change
that.
rooms.
Right. Because you should be on the lower.
You need to work at NASA.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're the best of your friends, then I think you need to look
Yeah.
at that and adjust accordingly.
Yeah. Or maybe you're just a super like selfish person.
Yeah, that could be it too. But regardless, you know where to find us at Cut and Caliber on Instagram, facebook.com/cut-and-caliber. And we're going to see you next week, and we're going to tackle maybe another complicated subject.
I hope so.
Which one is it?
I don't know. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We'll see you next time.
Bye.